Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve this really pretty and simple eye contour in a matte finish, which is perfect for everyday makeup or a special occasion. If you're going to take time to contour your face, you'll want to do the same with your eyes if you don't want to wear a ton of makeup, because it really will accentuate them in the same way that contour accentuates your face. I'm going to start with this all matte eyeshadow palette. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. I'm taking shade number 1 in this palette, which is a neutral toned light beige, again all in a matte finish, and this is going on the mobile lid from the inner corner and halfway across. Then I'm taking shade number 3, which is a very warm toned light peach, and the placement for this is the middle of the eye going back towards the outer corner. I'm using the number 2 brush by Refa. It's a great one for laying down colour, and I'm going in now with the 03 pencil brush by Refa to apply the number 1 shade. I decided I wanted to apply this to the inner corner of my eyes before I moved back on with the peachy shade. What I like about applying a contour to the eye is to make the most of your shape, and working with matte finishes is more flattering for everybody. Not everybody wants to wear a shimmer, and especially if it's a daytime look or a special occasion that's in the day and you want it to be a lot more subtle. Matte shades are the best for that, and applying lighter tones to the mobile lid is making the most of this space. So even if you have hooded eyes, go in with a lighter shade on this area, even over the fold of your hood, and it will make the most of that space. Going back to the palette, I'm taking this warm toned light brown and one that's got a slight yellowy undertone to it, and I'm using my number 26 Refa brush to work that into the socket of the eye. Again, even if you have hooded eyes, you still have an eye socket and you can work that in. A pointed brush like this will do all the work for you because it will sink into that socket and just work the bristles backwards and forwards. I like to pull my colours out slightly on the outer edge to create a bit more of an almond shape. But if it's not that suitable to your eye shape, you can keep it more rounded. For instance, if you have quite a fold here on this outer corner, then you might not want to create this almond shape like I'm doing here, which is almost slightly more of a V shape. Instead, use that light brown matte shade to push the fold back by pressing it over the fold in the shape that works for you. So if that's a rounded shape, just pat it over that folded area. I'm now going into this medium brown shade, also very warm toned, and I'm taking the same brush and I'm starting to work into that socket, building up that contour colour. If you're not into warm tones, you can use greyer shades that will create a more realistic shadow appearance. Sometimes warmness just adds to your complexion and it looks nicer. However, if you don't like the browns, you can use grey tones. Bear in mind, grey doesn't suit everybody because it can wash you out a little bit. So I would say have a play and see how you get on. I'm taking that same shade underneath my lower eyelashes, and then I'm softening everything with my number 15 blending brush, also by Refa. Going back to my pencil brush, I'm very softly blending a bit more of that brown just into the socket on the outer edge. Again, if you're keeping it slightly rounded, just pat it where you need it. Remember, dark matte shades will push things back, so if you are trying to disguise a bit more of a hooded eye, be strategic with your placement. Using the point of my pencil brush, I've dipped it into shade number 11, which is a neutral toned dark brown, and I'm using that to smoke out the eyelash line on the outer third of the lid. I love to do this with eyeshadow because it's so soft and subtle. It just makes the lash line look a little bit fuller. It doesn't look like you're necessarily wearing eyeliner, but it helps with that almond shape to the lid. You'll see as I softly work it up to the V shape, that's when that becomes a lot more obvious. And again, because it's eyeshadow, it can be quite soft, but it does really accentuate the almond shape. Because we've blended it out nicely along the top, I now want to define the bottom, so I've swapped to an even smaller pencil brush, also by Refa, and I'm building up the colour by barely touching the skin. It really is the lightest sweep on the skin. You want to be so light-handed with this. Use what's left on your bristles just to work through that socket, just to define it a little bit further. There really is barely anything on it, but it adds the tiniest amount of depth, which you can then blend with your fluffy blending brush to make sure it's so soft. Go back in with your pencil brush and a very light amount of the same eyeshadow, and now you want to look down into a mirror and softly run that close to the root of your eyelashes. So it's very subtle, but it adds a soft line from the very inner corner all the way to your soft wing. I'm going back to my flat shader brush and the bone shade, which is number 1 in the palette, and I'm running that over the brow bone. you can see it just mattifies this area. So it matches the rest of the eyelid and it just looks a lot cleaner. This step's completely optional. You can apply a cream eyeliner. I'm applying Coffee Pencil by MAC. I'm only taking this halfway across, that way we're not going to make the eye appear any smaller, but it adds a very soft, sultry finish. I also like to blink onto the tip of the pencil and run that along my top waterline. Otherwise, once you apply your mascara, if you can see the pink tones, the eye just doesn't look quite as finished. The mascara I'm using is the Max Factor 2000 calorie mascara. I'm really starting to like this. The more I use it, the more I like it. Again, I've never tried it until I think last week, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's their new version. So if for you this is a daytime event and you don't want to apply any false eyelashes, you can leave it with a couple of coats of mascara, and this is basically how it would look once you've applied that to your lower eyelashes. It's extremely soft and subtle. It just adds that contour to the eye so it looks like you've made a little effort. I'm going to use some eyelashes from this packet. I really do need to use it up. I do have a habit of not wanting to show these on camera and just opening a new one, just because they start to look a little unsightly the more you use them. But this packet cost me £4 and I'm able to get 4 to 5 sets out of it. I do have a tutorial on using this exact set. I really love a spiky lash, especially if you're wearing minimal amount of makeup on the lid, because sometimes something too fluffy can almost overtake the eye. So I've used a mix of the eyelashes from that set, and I will link the tutorial to show you how to achieve these up on the top right hand corner. And then I apply a light coat of mascara just to darken my natural eyelashes so that they don't look lighter against the individual lashes. So I hope you found this useful. It's great for those of you that don't like to wear a lot of makeup but you want to wear something that makes it look like you've made an effort. Sometimes it's the simplest of makeup that makes the biggest impact, because you can just enhance your features and people will look at you and say, wow, you look really good, you look really healthy. And it's just such a simple way to enhance your eyes. You contour your face to enhance it, so why not contour your eyes to do the same? This is a great palette all round, and if you've not tried it before, I will link it in the description bar. It's not the most affordable palette, but I promise you it will last you a lifetime and it's so versatile. I will list and link the brushes I've used in the description bar. They recently had a sale on Black Friday where they had 50% off. I did share it on my Instagram, so I hope some of you took advantage of the link. They are brilliant. They are some of my favourite brushes, the softest you will ever come across. So thank you so much for watching. Please give the tutorial a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are new to my channel. I upload every Thursday and Sunday and a short on a Monday or a Tuesday. And I will see you on Sunday with another video. Bye guys!